So Molly is an artist, a teacher, a storyteller who uses vintage materials to create new artwork that is absolutely beautiful. She teaches creative craft workshops to adults and is Miss Molly to the children as a substitute teacher at Don Darrow Elementary. How lucky are they? She's a mom to Pepe, the cutest Shih Tzu ever. She's never met a dog she didn't love, and Molly believes wholeheartedly that strangers are just friends she hasn't met yet. Can you please welcome to the stage, very loud and energetic like she is, Molly Mang.
Nice to have a reminder. Thanks for being here tonight. I appreciate it. So, the first time my face flared up, I didn't exactly ignore it, but I didn't call a doctor. It happened really gradually, and I happened to be right in the middle of teaching a workshop. So it went like this. My lip kind of inflated like I was getting the Kardashian special. And then my eyelid puffed so much that it closed. And then I had all these little red dots along my neck, and they sort of came together to form this really great sunburned look. Yeah, I just didn't think it was that big a deal. The second time it happened, it was the same situation, a little more severe, but, you know, still the same routine. The lip, the eye, the neck. So I didn't think it was getting worse. The third time it happened, yeah, that was when we decided to start looking into possible causes. And by we, I mean friends and family, of course. So I polled everyone I know. I tend to do this when weird things come up in my life or my body, and said, has anyone else ever had this happen to them? I got a load of responses. One of them was cat fur, another one was fruit peel, somebody said rat pee. But I didn't think any of those were my problem. Yeah, until the fourth time it happened. But the fourth time it happened, I didn't exactly ignore it, but I didn't call a doctor because there was something else going on that would seem more pressing and more strange. And it happened the day after Christmas. I had to look into this first. I woke up in the morning and I had this really severe pain in my elbow, like super severe, so sensitive I couldn't touch it. And I walked out to the kitchen and I told my mom all about it. And we decided, after a little conversation, we definitely confirmed, yes, this is really strange. That pain in my elbow, it eventually released. So I kind of thought, oh, maybe it's getting better. But it released until it was throughout my entire arm, top to bottom. So in a way it got better, but it also got worse. Yeah, and it sort of took over my entire arm. I couldn't pick anything up. I couldn't grip anything. It just sort of became useless. And so I ignored it, and I got on with my life. You know, the thing is, on a personal note, things were going really, really great with me. I mean, I was on a high. I was traveling to San Francisco. I had just created a solo art show that I was about to install 100 pieces of artwork. I was teaching sold-out workshops. I was making and selling a lot of artwork. So, you know, things were going really, really great. And then something really strange happened. They announced a pandemic was happening, and the world shut down. March 15th, 2020, my little body pains, well, they seemed kind of insignificant. So I just got on with my life. And yes, my body issues could get pretty bad, and my face did explode here and there, but we were getting used to this new world. My God, we were washing groceries on the front porch. These little things that were bothering me, they just seemed really unimportant. Until one night, my husband Ryan and I sat down to our pizza and TV zone, and I felt this excruciating, intense squeeze around my middle. Like a gorilla had wrapped its arms around me and was trying to squeeze the life out of me, and I couldn't catch a breath, and I just started sobbing uncontrollably. I didn't exactly ignore it, but I didn't call a doctor. Again, the world was shut down. I mean, I'd been living with these funky body pains and these weird face things for like 9 months at this point. So what was a little while longer? In August of that year, my husband had been seeing a PT for a while because he'd had shoulder surgery, and he thought, well, maybe, Molly, you should go see a PT. You know, find out, see what they say about the arm and the chest and the different pains. And I was like, yeah, maybe. But I reluctantly did it. I called a PT, I went in and saw them, I explained the pain in my arm, and I explained the pain around my chest, and he said, okay, I've got some exercise for you, I want you to go home, I want you to do these exercises. I went home, I did these exercises, I came back the next day and told him, all right, Andrew, that pain in my arm and my chest is now in both arms and all through my back. It's so much worse. And he sat me down and said, Molly, I think you should talk to a neurologist. And I said, why would I talk to a neurologist about arm pain? That's ridiculous. And he said, oftentimes when pain is bilateral, it has something to do with your nervous system. Oh, all right, fine. So I called a neurologist the next day, and in a very un-COVID era response, she asked me to come in immediately to get an MRI. Now, I thought that was a totally over-the-top response, but she insisted, and so I did. And within 48 hours, I was back in her office, looking at a scan of my brain with over 25 lesions spread across it, and I had no idea what it was. She said to me, home, and thought to myself, well, I'll just have a donut or a bag of M&Ms, something to make me feel better in the instant. And while I was sitting there enjoying this comfort food, I thought, you know what? I didn't hear anything she said, but I've got a ton of old dictionaries, and I'm going to look up what it says about multiple sclerosis. And so I pulled out this old dictionary, and I looked up multiple sclerosis, a disease marked by patches of hardened tissue in the brain, resulting in partial or complete paralysis. My husband started Googling madly, just trying to figure out what the hell we were in for. And I turned to him and said, I would like 1 week of utter silence on the matter. Just one blissfully ignorant week wherein we don't discuss the possibilities, what's coming, what could be. I just want to comfort myself with food and weed and TV and not think about it. And I swear to God, in 1 week, I promise, in 1 week, I will take action on it. 1 week later, I did. I was up and out. I found myself holding off the medical professionals who all just wanted me to choose a medication, just get on with a drug-modifying therapy so we can get on with your diagnosis, so we can figure out what's going to happen in your life. And I did what I tend to do. I called all my friends and family and said, find me the names and phone numbers of every single person you've ever heard of, even remotely, that has MS. And I proceeded to call every single one of those strangers. I wanted to see how they were living with their MS. There's gotta be an alternative. Lucky for me, the first woman I spoke to said, Molly, I don't do this, but it might be something you're interested in. And she recommended a group called OMS, who focus on diet, exercise, and meditation as a way of living well with MS. And it's the clear and detailed instructions from that group that saved my life. Turns out, my favorite food in the whole entire world, dairy, has a direct link to exacerbating MS. Dairy is something that I've been consuming in massive quantities my entire life. I ate butter like it was cheese and cheese like it was going extinct. I loved drinking half and half with my weekly 4-cheese pizza. I had lived a very happy childhood on multiple pints of ice cream. If a dish had butter, cream, eggs, and cheese in it, I was there for seconds and thirds. But that wasn't the only food that had to go. I discovered this information on a Monday evening. By Tuesday morning, I had cleared out my entire fridge and most of my cupboard, and I never looked back. If you'd told me even a week before that I'd be going cold turkey on pizza and cheeseburgers and french fries and egg and cheese sandwiches and cookies and donuts and everything I'd ever loved and anything made with coconut and all kinds of oils and every processed food, I would have said, yeah, when hell freezes over. But a month later, at my next MRI appointment, is when I saw the results of my actions. And every MRI since then, when the doctor says, it's all great news, no new activity. The inflammation in your brain has totally ceased to exist. So whatever you're doing, keep it up. And in that moment, I recognize that I no longer have body pain. I don't have that MS hug, as that sick squeeze is called. My face no longer blows up. It's not that I exactly ignore it, but I'm just telling you guys. Thanks.
You guys, give it up for Molly